Have you ever wondered how someone who once promised, "I'll always be there," could one day leave up without a word? No fight, no warning, no final goodbye. Just a silence so loud and it keeps echoing in your mind long after they are gone. And somehow, the pain is not just in their absence. It is in the questions they leave behind. What changed? When did it begin? Was it something you said, or something they never had the courage to tell you? Because sometimes the hardest part of losing someone is not the moment they leave. It is everything that follows. The overthinking, the replaying, the endless need to go back and search for the exact moment. Things began to fall apart. Your mind starts moving backwards. You revisit old conversations, old messages, the pauses between replies, the change in their tone, and suddenly, words that once felt ordinary begin to carry a different meaning. You start asking yourself questions you were never meant to answer alone. Did they start leaving long before they actually left? Was there a moment you failed to notice? A sentence you should have read differently? A silence that meant more. And this is what makes heartbreak without closure so exhausting, because the relationship ends, but the mind refuses to. It keeps searching for a reason, as if one answer could finally make the pain make sense. And sometimes, the most painful truth is this: the person you loved may not be the same person who left. Somewhere between who they were and who they became, something changed. Maybe slowly, maybe silently, maybe in ways even they did not fully understand. And by the time they walked away, they were already carrying a version of themselves you had never really met. That is why some people leave without ever giving closure. Not always, because they stopped caring. Sometimes they simply do not know how to stay. They do not know how to sit inside difficult conversations. They do not know how to explain what changed inside them. So instead of speaking, they withdraw. Instead of telling you the truth, they disappear into silence. Not because silence hurts less, but because for them, it feels easier than honesty. So, no, they may not have left out of cruelty. They may have left out of fear, emotional avoidance, or a lack of courage to face what the relationship had become. And because they left without answers, your mind begins to split in two. One part turns inward. Was I not enough? Did I miss something? Did I love too deeply? Or not in the way they needed? But the other part turns toward them. Were they already changing while I was still holding on to the version of them I knew? Were they expecting something they never truly communicated? Was there someone else? Was their loyalty already fading long before they walked away? And this is what makes a breakup without closure hard to understand. Because the blame does not sit in one place. It moves back and forth, from you to them and back again, until the mind is too tired to know what is true anymore. And maybe the hardest truth to accept is this: the closure you are waiting for may never come from them. Not because it does not matter, not because your questions are not valid, but because the person who left may not even fully understand their own reasons. Sometimes people walk away long before they find the words for why. Sometimes they leave because staying would require a conversation they are not emotionally ready to have. And sometimes the silence is not an answer. It is simply the limit of what they are capable of giving. And maybe this is the part no one tells you. Sometimes it is not really closure that you are looking for. Because even if they came back, sat across from you, and told you exactly why they left, it still would not be enough. No reason ever truly feels good enough for a heart that was not ready to lose someone. Because what you are trying to fill is not a gap in information. It is a void in emotion, a space where certainty once lived, a place where love, routine, and the future you imagined used to exist. The mind calls it closure because it wants an answer. But the heart is grieving something deeper, not the reason, the rupture. And maybe healing does not begin the moment you get an answer. Maybe it begins the moment you stop waiting for one, the moment you accept that some endings arrive without explanation, that some people leave without ever having the courage or the clarity to tell you why, and that their silence is not always a reflection of your worth. Sometimes it is only a reflection of where they were and what they were capable of. So maybe closure was never something they could give you. Maybe it is something you slowly learn to give yourself, not by finding the perfect reason, but by making peace with the fact that the love you had, the future you imagined, and the person you once knew no longer exist in the same way. And that is painful, but it is also where healing begins.